Alright, let's pop some pistons out. By the way, I marked these pistons. Number 1, see that little spot right there? 2, that's 2 spots. You see these a little better. That's 3 and that's 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I'm going to pull them all out, put the caps and the rods all back like they came out, and then we'll get a better look at the inside of the cylinders. Jerry wasn't wild about the looks of the cylinders on this one, which disappoints me a little bit, but I respect his, what am I trying to say? I respect his knowledge. He suggested I take the old engine apart and use it. Put all this in that, put the crankshaft, the pistons, everything right in there. I'm considering what he said, but like I say, I respect his authority. So, let's see if we can get these out without knocking one off in the floor. Alright, I got all the pistons out of here. Look how easy this thing turns. Oh man, that looks good. And I'm going to show you too, these are the rod bearing caps. What I mean by the cap is this is the piston rod bearing cap. There's a bearing inside of here and has a notch there. Right there, and a notch right there where that goes, and these 2 sides with the holes go together. That's an oil passageway. And on the back of this, get out here in the sun where you can see it, I checked every one of them. That says there's a B with a circle around it, and then GM for General Motors. There's AT20 00505 272. My book had said this was a 72 engine, and it's written right there. Now, if that was an oversized bearing, and what would happen if they had to turn a throw on the crank, they would have had to put a larger bearing. It would say so. It would have like if it went 10 thousandths, it would say 000.10 or something like that. So. That's the original bearing. Every piston in this thing has really beautiful piston rings on it. I mean, there's not a broken ring in here anywhere. There's not a lot of carbon really on top of this. These 2 pistons, you notice how they both join at about the same place. That's the closest thing you would have to a problem. Those should be joined on different, sides of the piston. Not both in the same, not in line with each other. But so far, everything about this tells me this is a really good engine. Now, having said that, Jerry had some concerns over what he saw as possible scratches in the cylinder wall. Now, I can't think of why there would be if it didn't have any broken rings or anything like that. My thinking is, he was actually suggesting taking my old motor apart and putting this crankshaft and these pistons in my old motor, which is an option. Nice to have an option. But what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and clean this block up. I might need 2 hands to spin that motor up. Do that. But I was thinking what I might do is clean this up and hone these cylinders. I don't know if I can. And then we'll see what we think about it then. See, there's a line. I can see it here. Here's my flashlight. See, there's a line right there. You see that? Maybe you can't see it because of the way the flashlight acts. I'm going to see if I can catch a fingernail in that. What I'll do is I'll hone it, and we'll see if that line's deep enough to still show up after I hone all these cylinders out. And like I said, if we determine that this isn't good enough, we've got that other block. He was telling me something I didn't realize. He said the crankshaft will fit right in that 4-bolt main, even though this is a 2-bolt main. And these pistons will fit and everything will fit. So we also got to looking at this one. I've had these ones that were rusty soaking in vinegar, and he was able to just take a napkin and wipe some of that rust away. So it may be that the vinegar is working. I'm going to keep that soaking in there. At some point I'm going to take this one apart too, and then we'll see what we got with all the pieces and parts. The next thing to happen here is I'll be pulling the crankshaft out of this one. Ooh-wee. I like it. I like it a lot. Alright, so I might take a moment and see where I'm at, decide what I want to do next. Whether I want to keep going with this today or come back to this tomorrow. I know one thing I need to do tomorrow is I fixed that pickup truck for that fella, and on the way down, the fuel line I put on there got tangled up in the fan belt and cut the fuel line, and he had to get a truck to come pull him home, which I feel really bad about. I feel bad enough about it to drive down to Athens and repair that for him. So I'm going to do that first thing in the morning, and then we'll come back to here and take a look at what we got. Alright, I appreciate y'all for watching, hanging out with me in spite of everything. This is pretty fun, actually. Yeah, this is pretty fun for me. I'm enjoying it. Sure am. Okay, enough about all that. My thinking was I was going to get this place all spotless clean before I took the motor apart, but that didn't happen, did it? No, it didn't. It didn't happen that way. Dang.